I'm live. My dog is here. Father-in-law, not stepfather. Where was I going with that? R.I.P. my stepfather. Welcome. Welcome to the Greg Shapiro Tuesday AMA. Ask Me Anything. And this is the reopening? Not exactly reopening. It's the edition called Reclosing or the Code Red Light / Green Light. It's like red light, green light. We can reopen. No, now we can't. Hey, Laura Bell's here. And anyway, yeah. At least the theaters are open. Kind of. I do have a taping tomorrow for parts of my solo show, Leaving Trumpland. But there's no public. But it is cool. It's going to be at the Stadschouwburg, the International Theater, the ITA, in Amsterdam. And so I guess I will, try out some text here tonight. I'll introduce myself, talk about me being Greg Shapiro, the American Netherlander, because I am a little bit of both. I really am. I started out, growing up loud in America, and I ended up moving to the Netherlands. I grew up in America first and the Netherlands second. And still celebrating that wonderful video that made me so famous back, it went so viral back when viral was a good thing. But anyway, yes, I am reminding everyone to still keep a mask handy, especially if you're speaking Dutch, because the Dutch language is too gevaarlijk. Droplets, infections can be rough, so please be careful out there. Okay. President Biden, did you hear what he's talking about today? No, you didn't. No one did. Isn't that wonderful? Can we just take a moment to appreciate that we have the luxury of not having to care what the U.S. president said today? It's a beautiful thing. We didn't have to hide in fear of the news. When we heard what the president said, we didn't have to choke back vomit from the back of our throat. We didn't have to fight the sense of humiliation or struggle against human evolution being turned backwards. No one has the mental capacity to process what the current president said because we're all still dealing with 4 years of post-traumatic Trump disorder, post-traumatic tweet disorder. Hello, Nicole. And greetings from Belgium as well. Greetings back to you. Anyway, basically America at this point is like a toilet clogged with 4 years of toxic tweets, and Joe Biden is the plumber. And as happy as we are that we got Joe the plumber on the job, I hope he doesn't think we're gonna watch or care what he does or how he does it. And certainly if he's giving us regular updates or just let us know when you're done. Thanks. It's not going to be great for ratings. But anyway, Joe Biden is trying to get things done as quick as he can. And the air is clearing. It's clearing up out here. Anyway, that's my Joe Biden. And yes, I am fully vaccinated now. Macron made announcements yesterday regarding and that faded away. Well, anyway, I got my Janssen. I got my one and done. And that was just like my performance of my solo show in June. Got to do it one more time. Out of 35 bookings, I had 9. And then I made it a nice round 10 with one show in June. Janssen style. One and done. But anyway, so Joe Biden, how to do a Joe Biden voice? He's got that kind of grimace, He holds his mouth a certain way. He's got that gruff kind of exterior. Sounds if Bill Clinton was all about I feel your pain. It's not the only thing I'm feeling, but your pain, I feel your pain. If Bill Clinton was all about I feel your pain, then Joe Biden is like, I'm feeling pain worse than you do. And he really does embrace his, his sense of pain. Know what it's like to get up in the morning, see that empty chair at the kitchen table, go to bed at night with that empty space next to you in the bed. You're just staring up at the ceiling, wondering how you're going to make it through the next day. Jeez, pretty dark stuff, Joe. And yet, that's how he got elected, because that's what resonates with the American voters as of 2020. And yeah, Joe Biden is all about like empathy. And it works. You know, the Republicans can't even attack him for it because the Republicans don't understand human empathy. Joe Biden is just like, life is pain. Anyone who tells you different is trying to sell you something. Yeah, Joe Biden's like the Sixth Sense president. I see dead people. And sometimes Joe Biden is getting in trouble lately for like doing that thing where, you know, he'll read from the teleprompter until he kind of looks right into the camera, goes off book, leans into the microphone, and he starts to whisper, I'm serious, folks. I'm serious. I think the working class people in this country deserve a tax break. I think the rich are doing just fine. And people say it creeps them out that Joe Biden is like whispering stuff, like this old whispery grandpa. And yet, I think most Americans are just finding it a sweet relief because my predecessor, if there's one thing, he said a lot of things, but one thing he never did was whisper. I like that joke. I don't know if it's a joke, but I like it. So yeah, anything was better than Trump. I mean, I'll still go back to that day after Trump left the White House, and I was doing this film shoot in Amsterdam, and on the set there was like someone behind the camera who said like, "Oh, his face is kind of washed out. Maybe can we get makeup to put some more color on his face?" And just out of instinct, I said in my Trump voice, you know, like maybe some orange, very sexy color, very healthy glow orange, I think is nice. And but anyway, you know, if it was a day beforehand when Trump was still in the White House, I think everybody would have said, "Oh, that's so Trump." And yet, the moment Trump left the White House, everybody, when they heard the Trump voice, they just had this same collective reaction, which was to individually shudder and like, ugh, like a cold wind had blown up their backside. And then they just tried to move on and go about their day like nothing ever happened. And I think that's basically how we're going to have to get past this odd anomaly of these 4 years of Trump in the White House. We'll have to treat it like the body of Osama bin Laden. Just put it on the deck of an aircraft carrier and gently push it over the edge into the middle of the ocean and pretend like it never happened. All right, so wait, that's that bit, and that's that bit. Okay, hi, everybody. I know Trevor Noah's been doing some Biden bits. I guess Stephen Colbert as well. But anyway, I'll get to your questions a bit better in a minute. But so now I wanted to give you a 1 year retrospective of what happened a year ago, because it was 1 year ago that I found out my stepdad back in the United States that he tested positive for COVID. And yeah, my sister called up and she said, stepdad tested positive. Hold on, I'll get to questions in a little bit. But anyway, so yeah, my stepfather was located in Wisconsin, Trumpland, Wisconsin. And it's not that he was a Trump supporter. It's just that if you retire in the United States and you don't have a lot of money, then, you know, you take what they can give you when you need a nursing home at age 75. And so what they gave him was a nursing home in Racine, Wisconsin, by Kenosha, Wisconsin. And let's just call that Trump land. You know, They have Walmart across the parking lot, monster truck parking area, and people wearing their hats, that say "Make America Great Again," or in this case, "Make America Intubate Again," because my stepfather had a roommate, and again, you take what they can give you. So he had a roommate. The roommate was like, "Woo, freedom!" And so he liked to get out. And he actually had family come to visit him in the room. They weren't masking. They didn't respect distancing. And because the whole state of Wisconsin, you see, they went on lockdown, like pandemic lockdown, same time frame as the rest of the world in March of 2020. But the Republicans in the state of Wisconsin, they believe more in freedom from science. And so they managed to overturn the public health and safety rules. And so, yeah, that was that's why that my stepdad had the roommate with his family who were coming. They were taking the roommate out to lunch and, to the all-you-can-eat COVID buffet. No mask, no problem. We took the sneeze guards off the salad bar. And then they were bringing him back. And so these were people who were posting things on Facebook like, the mask, that's just how the government wants to control you. The mask is how the Democrats want to introduce socialism in this country. And I hear the mask is what gives you COVID in the first place. Why do you think they put that metal bar on the front? That's the antenna for the 5G. And yeah, this is their theory. This is not mine. Or yeah, the mask makes you gay, actual quote. But fine. So that's how my stepdad got COVID, and then it was on the 14th of July last year that my sister called up and said, "Dad is gone," and so it went very quickly. And now, to be fair, he was not the healthiest. The reason he was in the nursing home in the first place was that he had Alzheimer's, maybe late stage Alzheimer's. And so the way my sister put it was, he was, waiting for the train, but the bus came first. And so he jumped on board the bus, destination leaving Trumpland. But then came the moment that my sister and I were on the phone, and we realized, we were on a video chat. We had realized, like, we're going to have to do this memorial as a Zoom chat, basically. And my sister said, "Ugh, as long as I don't have to host it." And I said, "Well, yeah, why not?" She said, "I don't want to have to host a Zoom chat with a bunch of over 50 people who don't know how to Zoom." And I politely pointed out that I myself am over 50 at this point. And she said, "Yeah, and you don't know how to Zoom." And anyway, we did the memorial. It was great to see, family members I hadn't seen for decades. I got to see the, top of my uncle's head. I got to see the inside of my aunt's ear. And my mom was doing this thing where she just showed like a blank space, like a section of dining room wall next to the dining room table. And she would just sort of like hover. Maybe an ear would show. Then she would pop down and she would like come back on the other side showing a shoulder or something. We were there like texting her, "Mom, do you want to be in the frame? I mean, or you could turn your camera off if you want. Just go to the bottom of your screen and you see the icon with the, wait, what screen? Are you on your phone, Mom? Or are you on your, what? What are you on, Mom? Mom, what are you on? What are you on, Mom?" Turns out gin and tonics, largely. And, maybe that's a benefit of doing the memorial via Zoom, because if it was a live in-person event and someone that prominent did not want to speak or say anything, yeah, it might have been awkward or noticeable. But since it was a Zoom chat, it was just like, "Oh, baby boomers, you can't teach them anything." And so I know that joke is making fun of, members of my own family, but my stepdad also liked making fun of his own family. So I feel like that joke is what he would have wanted. So Warren J. Shore, wherever you are, that joke was for you. Okay. Great. I'm supposed to time this for my tight 10 tomorrow. I thought, since it's a comedy bit, I want to talk about, death and dying. Anyway, I think that'll work. It's cabaret. So, Dutch cabaret. It doesn't just have to be, it's not supposed to be all jokes. You have to be poignant. Anyway, hey. So I'm still saying welcome to some folks. It's great. Thanks for all tuning in. What else? I'm going to try to get to some of your questions now. Questions. You know what? I'm going to do it this way. I've got my separate screen. Uh-oh. That has to go there. And that should go there. Oh, view as subscriber? Sure. All right, good. So, yeah, exactly. Larbo's trying to warn me. I'm just quoting people, but that can get you in trouble. I know. Anyway. All right, so one massive Trump 4 years ago. Yes, exactly. I'm going back from the beginning here. So, yes, to answer your questions, I am fully vaccinated. Macron made announcements yesterday regarding the vaccine pass. You should read it before you write. Before you come or try to travel. I do have a Corona check app now as well from like the Dutch government. I have verified. I have a QR code that will theoretically get me into events, and it's funny that the Dutch health minister Hugo de Jonge kept talking about Dansen by Janssen. So yeah, not only the name of a club or a former club, dance discotheque, but yeah, once you get the Janssen vaccine, you can just start going out right away. But no, you're supposed to wait 2 weeks. Now, I did have to wait 2 weeks after I got my Janssen vaccine before I could get my QR code, which would admit me to events. But I'm not sure if that was on purpose or if that was just, administrative, civil servant, bureaucratic delay. And anyway, in this case, I am all for bureaucratic delay. Maybe let's let people wait a couple weeks for the scientists to have their say. Like, don't go dancing right away. You need to let the vaccine create the antibodies or create the mRNA that will help your body create the antibodies. And anyway, it takes time. Anyway. But yes, I am supposedly fully vaccinated. Joe the pool boy, that's funny. I'll keep that. Okay. I know it's a little Joe Eastwood, my Joe Biden imitation, but all right. Meesofts, I like it. That's like Meeseeks, and that is good. And okay. Mr. C4NL is back. That is great. All right, Larabelle, I'm going to get to that in a moment. Anyway, let's see. Can I vote in the Netherlands? Yes. Because my wife is Dutch and I have, ik kan ook Nederlands spreken en lezen en stemmen. Who did you vote for last time? I voted for a woman. Hope that answers your question. Sometimes she doesn't wear a seatbelt. But anyway, if 2016 to 2020 never happened, it would solve so many problems, like Dallas. Oof. Yeah, I know. Kenosha, exactly. Kenosha, it can be nice if you're not marching or protesting. Wisconsin was a largely German and Swedish, I believe. Lots of sausage, cheese, and beer still going on up there. Anyway, all right. Yeah, someone mentioned Vuppies, anime lover, Nicole. Yeah, the Vuppies are, we got friends who didn't want to get vaccinated. They didn't get vaccinated. The father, who's my age, got corona, heavy, had to be hospitalized. And then we were like, oh, maybe they want to get vaccinated. Like, nope. The daughter then got COVID, not as heavy, but she got over it and now still not vaccinated. And she just found out she got COVID again because she was going out dancing, apparently. Yeah, as soon as that was allowed, and got a negative test, or turns out, oh no, she was positive even when she went to dance. I forget how that turned out, but yeah, probably shouldn't have gone dancing. Probably shouldn't have been admitted to the dance place, but okay. Anyway, Dutch News says 700% increase in infections, which just like a stopped clock is right twice a day. When Forum for Democracy and Thierry Baudet suggested that maybe part of the reason that there are so many more new cases is that there's all of a sudden so much more testing because people wanted to get into these events. It, maybe that did have a point, and maybe that was good a good thing about people wanting to get into so many clubs and festivals and theaters. Yeah. I mean, Boom Chicago Theater was full, 300 people. Sitting right next to each other, no distancing. But I mean, because everyone was tested, and the test is 99% accurate. That's only 1 out of every 100 people that could still be positive while testing negative. So if it's 300 people, that's only 3 people out of 300 who were actually positive, and then it's just a question of how infectious was the Delta variant. So it's still pretty safe. I would feel safer going back into the theaters if they still did some distancing. But that's what we're doing. That's what we're going back to now. So anyway, all right. Trying to get to some more actual questions here. Here we go. Yeah, 700 increase. Yeah, it's again, it's the cases, but it's also the hospital admissions, it's the ICU beds, and it's the deaths. So I'm not having a great feeling about America and some of the neighborhoods where my family lives. I have other family that live in Southwest Missouri. That is a hot spot right now. Anyway, thank you for the caution about the algorithm. I'll still be careful. And that Mesoft is great. Thank you. Okay. No, this is good statistics I'm reading in the comments about the COVID in the U.S. as well. But okay. Boone 007 says, hey, long time no see. It's great to see you as well. And RIP Corona, or yeah, you can't kill Corona beer. It will always be there. Okay. Uh-oh. Message deleted. Good. Be careful here, folks. A QR code from Nepi and Yoki. Nepi and Yoki. I'm not sure what that refers to, but I like it. Or are you just making that? Is that new? Is that minted fresh for this live chat? I love it. On a lighter note, do you intend to have a nameplate for your house in France because she has a name? And is that a thing in the Netherlands? That's a good question. We do have a house in France, and I did name it, so maybe we should come up with a name above the door like they do in the Netherlands, Duinzicht or whatever. But yeah, thanks. That's a good suggestion. Okay. So Nicole says my mom got a QR code right after her second Pfizer shot. Well, I guess that's good. Because after the first Pfizer shot, your body does the requisite, like the heavy lifting with getting immune, right? And then the second shot is the booster. I'm not sure how that works. If you have any information, let me know. Sidestep from politics says, Nathaniel, did you start watching soccer football over the years, or do you still watch American sports, or don't you watch any sports at all? Okay. I did not appreciate football/soccer when I was a kid growing up in the States. That is true. Baseball was the sport that I played as a kid, and I even went to a baseball summer camp. So yeah, that's always been my main sport. I do get into the Euro Cup and whatever, and I've watched some of the games, and I've even learned how to enjoy watching or how to yell at the players when it's not a good game. Really took me some time to figure out why that Dutch player De Ligt got a red card. But, apparently it was part hands, even if you're being, not flopping, but being pushed over. I don't know. I guess he could have been more careful while he was coming into contact with the ball. But yeah, the Dutch team. It's always entertaining. even when they fail hugely. But okay, so but yeah, no, I'd still follow American baseball, and I used to be a Cubs fan, but now the owners of that team are terrible right wing, uh, uh, like don't they donate money, and do business deals for the broadcasting with Sinclair Media, and they're responsible for uh, really buying up all these small local channels and taking the individual voice out of American local media and just putting in their own right wing propaganda. So, yeah, I find that problematic. So that's why I'm no longer a Cubs fan. I think I like Milwaukee Brewers more than the Chicago Cubs. There, I said it. Okay, moving on. And am I still in the same place? Good. Yeah, if you like the numbers, stop testing. That's a great note. So says a quote from a fictitious health minister. That's Spiker Poos who said that, not me. Okay. Yes. Larbell78 asks, how's it going with Peter R. de Vries, the Dutch journalist who was shot in Amsterdam? I believe, as far as I know, he is still stable. But it's not great. And there's a new term coming around, which is, I believe, narco crime or narco like terrorism, um, because of the sort of drug gangs and gang related violence. Yeah, I know Ben Coates, Coates, British writer, lives in the Netherlands, and he wrote an article for Politico.eu about the connections between, the legalizing drugs and maybe the criminality that results because of that. It's problematic, but anyway, I hope that journalism survives and that our journalist also survives. Yes, long COVID is difficult. Long-term COVID would do everyone a benefit. They mention long COVID on Dutch news and in Dutch, but then they say long COVID, and that long means lung in Dutch. So everybody keeps thinking like, yes, lung COVID. We know what kind of COVID you're talking about. Long-term COVID, that is much more problematic. So indeed, it was like on the weekend they interviewed a 21-year-old woman, who was saying that she had a mild case of corona COVID, but the after effects are still quite pronounced, and she's foggy in her brain and can't be as productive. And so I think that is the story that should be on the news every night these days, because I still think people should be way more careful. Anyway, all right. Man. Okay, cool. Man. I'll look it up. Not sure what that's about. All right. Thank you, Marco Vos. I'm not sure what that refers to, but great. Neppy is Hugo de Jonge, and Jokie, of course, is Mark Rutte. Thank you. I like that. I appreciate that. That's Neppy and Jokie. Neppy and Jokie. And then Vappy? There's no Vappy in there? No, that's, what's his name from Haga? Yeah, okay. How is the blue Brexit Muppet? Yeah. Golly, the Demissionaire, so the former or the fired cabinet minister, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Steph Blok, introduced a mascot for Brexit, basically telling British businesses, telling Dutch businesses to get ready for Brexit and, fear the worst. But they introduced this sort of blue Muppet monster that was sitting on your desk like, oh, Brexit might show up any day. I haven't seen that Muppet for a little while, but who knows? There was a point where, the numbers on COVID were going better, vaccinations were going better. UEFA chooses London to host the whole Euro Cup, and then England is doing so well in all the way to the finals. There was a point where it seemed like, well, okay, maybe there's a post-Brexit bump for old England, but hey, maybe now not so sure. guess part of me was relieved when Italy won. Italy, who will now, thanks to Eurovision rules, Italy, the Italy football team, Italy will now have to host the next Euro Cup. It seems only fair if you use the Eurovision rules. So next year, when the England fans riot and send racist tweets to their own players, they can do that from Rome. That'll be nice. Anyway, let's see. Spiker Boost was quoting beloved Thierry Bay. Okay, great. Thierry Baudet. That was the quote. I did not say that. Algorithm. Don't get me in trouble now. Anyway, Nathaniel says, loved watching the Orange game at Boom Chicago on 3 big screens simultaneously. Yes, the Boom Chicago can be a great place to watch a game. Except when they lose. That's not so great. But and long Brexits. Yeah, that's the new term. You've coined it, Schliber. We are now announcing that just like COVID can become long COVID, Brexit can become long Brexit. And anyway, lang durige, indeed. They say Belgium. Okay, well, but they mean, I don't know what they mean. Thierry Bossato, that is great. Forum de Dystopia, that could be. And everyone was supporting Italy. I don't know where. In England? That'd be fun. They booed their own team. That's total commitment. I guess it is, really. And Baron007 says, recently I noticed from the news that Trump is eventually in deep trouble, in legal trouble. Is that true? I believe it is kind of true. So far, the Manhattan district prosecutor, it's not even on the federal level. But it is it's New York prosecutors that are going after Trump and his business. And they are now going after Alan Weisselberg, who is the bookkeeper, the bookkeeper in the Trump family, all the way since the father, Fred Trump, was doing his thing, apparently. So, if they've got the bookkeeper and he might flip, then Trump could be in some serious trouble. Then again, could a president run for, could a former president run for president? Again, yes. Could a former president win as president again? Yes. Could a former president run for president from prison? That is something we will have to find out. But I've mentioned that before. It turns out, can a president be president from prison? Not currently, according to the old Constitution. But the Constitution is only as real as the Supreme Court interprets it to be. So who knows? Maybe they'll bend the rules. And just like Putin was president and then not president, but kind of president, and now back to being president. Till whenever he feels like it. I think that's what the Republicans might do in the old United States. But so that's me answering all of your questions that I can in just a half an hour's time, and a little bit of a bonus as well. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to take a break for a little while for like a summer vacation. I just need a break from all the social media. But bend it like Putin. Well done, Spiker Poos. And you guys are great. So thank you so much for watching and contributing, and do tune in again. I think I'll pick up again. Really, I'll give myself a month off here. So I'll see you guys again in the end of August, and do farewell, be careful, stay healthy, and watch out for the long Brexit. Thank you guys. All right. Bye.